Hi, everyone, and welcome to this latest edition of the Michigan State Spartans Insider Podcast. I'm your beat reporter for Michigan State Spartans on SI, Aiden Champion. Kind of a slow news weekend for Michigan State, other than Michigan State baseball, which, of course, stamped its ticket to the Big Ten tournament. Very unlikely scenario at certain points throughout this final stretch of the year for Michigan State. Some up and downs, defeated some ranked teams with Oregon, who just won a share of the conference title, and USC uh, when they went out west there. But nonetheless, Michigan State finds itself in the Big Ten tournament, one of 12 teams to make the field. Uh, so great accomplishment for them. But I want to get into some hoops talk today, particularly with Tom Izzo. Um, it's the big question every offseason. When is Tom Izzo going to call it quits? And, you know, it's anyone's guess. No one really knows. I don't even think Tom Izzo knows. Um, and there's not really any reason right now for him to do so. The only reason the only way I could see him, wanting to step away for a reason that isn't about the love of the game or, losing a passion, because I don't think there will ever come a point where he loses a passion for it. I don't think there's anything that can do that for him. But I think if he were to leave, or to call it a career, I think obviously it would be because of the changing landscape of college athletics, or Michigan State tells him it's time, but I don't think that ever is going to happen. Um, and I still can't believe that there's people that do doubt Tom Izzo. It really is. It's kind of absurd. He's proven time and time again, even with some very under the radar teams that really um, had no right to be, or go as far as they did, and he took them there. Um, just continues, to prove the doubters wrong, and that was never more so the case than this year when Michigan State, unranked going into the season, takes them to an Elite Eight, wins the Big Ten uh, regular season title by 3 games, uh, in an 18 team season, largest it's ever been. And you know obviously things weren't looking great for the program the past few years, even though they had kept their tournament streak alive. Just were consistently a bubble team, and it was looking like that Tom couldn't necessarily keep up with the times, wasn't using the portal, um, and he proved that you don't need to you know rely too heavily on the portal, that you can win with homegrown talent, that you can um, win without a big time name or a first or second team all conference guy. Even though Jace, had he played the way he did all year long, probably would have been one of those guys. But still, I mean, you didn't necessarily have any superstars. And my point is, Tom can get it done with any team, with any group of guys. And yet people continue to doubt him. I know there's people who think he needs to move on, or at least thought so going into this year. Maybe that's not. really the case as much now. But there were people saying he needed to hang it up. And I think Tom Izzo should hang it up whenever he wants to. I don't think that should be anyone else's decision. Um, I think he's done enough for this university where he can finish last in the Big Ten the next 2 years and still keep his job, still have every right to, um, to hang around as long as he wants. Um, I know there's some that can be a little problematic when you do want to when you have a standard, you have an expectation, and you want to continue to meet that. And um, but I think it's a rare scenario situation for Tom Izzo where you can kind of get away um, with having a bad season or bad stretch and still remain in your seat. Because, like I said, I mean, he's proven time and time again that he can, and he's done enough in 30 years that he deserves to go out on his own terms. Um, I think it's out of the question now that Tom would ever leave for anywhere else. I don't think he'd go to the NBA. Don't think he'd go to another program. Think he'd want to finish his coaching career at Michigan State. Loves this place. He said time and time again. He's had many opportunities to leave and never did. Um, just because he loves this place so much, and um, that you don't get that. You rarely get that in college athletics nowadays. That kind of mutual loyalty where nothing can break that bond, or something is so um, inevitable, so permanent. Um, and so that's something that I think Michigan State fans really shouldn't take for granted. But going back to the original question, what does Tom call it? I mean, I don't know. It really is. It's tough to speculate because it's something where you could see him calling it next season, or a year from now, or 5 years from now. You really don't know. And like I said, I don't think it'll ever be because he's tired of doing this. Um, I don't think he's ever going to lose a passion for what he does for coaching. Um, and I don't think he feels he has anything to prove necessarily. I mean, I think he'll always have kind of a chip on his shoulder. I mean, he's a competitor, wants to win, he wants another national title, but I don't think it's where he feels a pressure to add to his legacy. One, I don't think, at times about the team, he's about the program, he's about the place. It's not his legacy that's, secondary, or not even secondary, probably further back on his list of priorities. But I don't think he feels the need to, um, you know, um, need. I don't think there's anything Tom Izzo needs to do to boost his legacy. I mean, yeah, another national title would do that, but he doesn't need it to be considered one of the greatest of all time. Um, and I don't think that's a title he necessarily cares or is on his agenda. Um, so, that I don't think that's a factor. Any of the legacy talk, I don't, I don't think that's something he would consider, um, when deciding when he wants to go out. So, um, I I think that Michigan State fans should just really cherish having him while they do. You're never gonna get another Tom Izzo. You're probably never gonna see this level or this streak of success that you've seen. Yes, there's only been one championship, national championship to come out of it, but you're not gonna see um, 25 plus straight years of tournament appearances again. Um, not going to see another coach win, um, 10 Big Ten titles at Michigan State. It's not going to happen. I believe. I mean, um, never going to get this kind of level of success with any other coach that you have with Tom. Maybe you'll win more national titles, but as far as a continued tradition of winning, being the constant face of the Big Ten, I don't think you'll ever get that with anyone else. So, um, whenever Tom decides to call it, it'll be a tough day in East Lansing. There will be a lot of tears, but if I had to guess, I don't think it's within the next 3 years. Um, I don't know. That's the thing, though. It could be whenever. It really could. So, but I just personally, I don't think we're as close to it as some may think. But that's just my take. Would love to hear your guys, um, your opinions when you think the time may come for Tom Izzo to ultimately hang it up. As always, thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend and have a great week ahead. Thanks.